Yeah, it's a great question. I think the short version is um, I always knew that I always knew that in order to make an impact, that there were a wide variety of ways to make an impact in business. And so I started learning about business and getting involved with business while I was still in my third year in university. And I came across this organization which had me actually actively selling a business while I was still in school. And I came across some sales books. And luckily for me, a lot of the sales books included information about networking. And so that's where I sort of realized, well, hey, I don't, if I get really good at building relationships and getting other people to introduce me to people, I don't have to be this huge outgoing person who's like this sales master. And so once I came across that stuff, I just really dived into every single networking book I could find on the subject. I found out some of the books worked, some of the books didn't work. And I just kept testing things while I was still an undergraduate, and things kind of exploded from there. And I ended up, while I was a strong introvert, while I was struggling in class, I was still meeting vice presidents. I was still meeting general managers of huge divisions of corporations while I was a junior in university. And
Wow.
so that's when things opened up and things just kind of snowballed from there.
Gotcha. And I also wanted to ask you, Mike, like, so this change where you were going from, a highly introverted person, probably really shy, kind of awkward when you're kind of, talking to strangers and all that, and going to, booking these meetings and conversations with these highly successful executives. Was it like an overnight thing, or was it kind of step by step? Like, how did that movement occur? Because a lot of people that tuning in that might be more on the introverted side, and there's this belief that, hey, in order to be a good networker, you have to be extroverted. You got to be one of those high energy, extroverted people. So can you like how did that change occur? Did it take a couple of years? Like how did that kind of work out for you?
Yeah, I'm happy to elaborate on that. And there might be a couple questions in there. So if my answer doesn't cover everything that you're looking for, feel free to, circle back and ask me follow-up questions. But my answer to that would be I'm still a strong introvert till this day. So a lot of people don't necessarily understand it. Like, introvert doesn't mean that you can't be outgoing.
Mm.
Introvert doesn't mean that you can't be a great communicator. So the core of who I am is still pretty much the same. I still need to take a step back to process information in my head sometimes. I still need my alone time. I can't go to a networking event for 5 hours without taking a break. So, so I wanted to say that. So you don't have to change who you are in order to be a great networker. I think it's a good question because what a lot of people do is, they try networking a couple of times, once or twice, two or three times, maybe even five times, and it's not working perfectly yet for them. It's still kind of awkward or whatever.
Yeah.
And I want to let people know I still sometimes go to networking events and feel awkward. It's totally normal. I sometimes still have a meeting with someone and it doesn't go as planned or whatever. And that's all still part of the process. So you really you really start to get amazing at networking. Well, maybe that's a little ambitious. You really start to get good at networking when you've tried some of the things at least 10 or 20 times within a certain period of time. So that's sort of when the snowball effect really starts to kick in gear for people. That's when they really start to get it and they realize, oh, maybe I need to tweak this that I'm saying. Maybe I need to be doing this another way. So the thing is, most people haven't really given it a shot and they think it's going to work perfectly the first or second time.
I love that you said that, Mike, because I think a lot of people don't see that networking really is a skill, just like any other skill. And
Yes.
I think that every single person tuning in has mastered some kind of a skill in some other part of their life, and they know it doesn't happen overnight. Like it takes, like you said, if you want to implement a networking skill or strategy, try it out at least 10 times, and that's how you kind of make those pivots, hone it, better it, adjust it, and all that stuff. So I think that's some fantastic advice out there, and I think that's a definitely key takeaway, especially for those of you out there watching who might be more on the introverted side and find networking a little bit intimidating.